A gruesome discovery on the interstate nearly 2 years ago became a mother's heartbreaking quest for answers.
Here's Natasha Robin with Waiting for Justice.
Caitlin loves to take pictures. She would take pictures all day, every day.
Nearly 2 years ago, Kenesha Martin lost her only daughter, 16-year-old Kaylin Ward.
Yeah, her birthday was April 4th, and she was killed on June 4th, exactly 2 months after her 16th birthday.
Police found Kaylin's body on the I-10 overpass near Bullard in New Orleans East, June 4th, 2015. Her death remains a mystery. Martin says she yearns every day for justice.
It won't bring Kaylin back, but it will give me some sense of peace to know that that person won't be able to do that to somebody else.
When Kaylin was killed, it took the coroner's office 4 days to ID her body because she had been run over so many times by cars on the interstate.
I had people that reached out to me on social media after that happened, and they were like, I passed that site, but I thought it was a dead dog in the street, so cars were actually hitting her. Her body was in pieces.
The official cause of death is undetermined.
But as I read the autopsy report, it stated blunt force trauma.
According to the initial police report, Kaylin's skull was crushed, her right leg detached, and the body not clothed. The autopsy results show diagrams of the multiple fractures and even detached body parts. A spokesperson for the coroner's office told Fox 8, there is currently no probable evidence that can at this time definitively point to whether this was an accidental death or otherwise. Kaylin's mom believes someone murdered her child.
I just know that my daughter was not walking on that interstate. I know that Kaylin was a fighter, and I know that she couldn't have even been alive when she was placed on that interstate.
Kenesha Martin believes the story of her daughter's gruesome end began 5 days before her death when Kaylin ran away from home.
I knew exactly where she went because things were posted on social media.
Martin wanted her daughter to leave that house but couldn't convince her to come home.
My child was at a home where I had spoken with this mother several times, and I explained to her that I didn't want my child to be allowed in her home.
The next day, she found out again through social media that Kaylin was at a different house.
She was actually at a home where the kids were there, basically living alone. Mom had moved out and she had given them the house. I contacted NOPD. I stayed at this home for 4 hours waiting on the police.
When the officers arrived, Martin says they told her the home looked abandoned, but Martin insisted her daughter was inside.
He told me basically, I don't have the necessary paperwork to do a report. If you would like to do a report, you can go to the station. So at this time, it's anywhere between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Martin said the responding officers did nothing. Later that day, Martin says Kaylin called a family friend and said she wanted to come home. She says Kaylin told them she had a ride.
Whoever she was with, she was comfortable and she trusted them.
A woman found dead along I-10 this morning may have been hit by a vehicle. Police closed down I-10 east at Bullard for several hours after finding her body.
That night, Martin received a mysterious phone call she'll never forget.
I received a phone call from a child who told me that someone had called her phone and expressed to her that that was Kaylin's body on the interstate. So I was like, who will call you? No one even knows you. Well, I don't know. They called me from a private number. That just didn't sound right.
Meantime, for 4 days, nothing. Just a mysterious phone call lingering in her mind. Then the news no mother wants to receive. Kaylin was dead. Her body was the one found on the I-10 days before.
something went wrong. And after that took place, they just threw my child's body on the interstate.
Devastated and reeling from her daughter's horrific death, it took months before she could process the events surrounding Kaylin's final days. Frustrated, she kept returning to the night when she tried to get Kaylin out of the abandoned home with the help of 2 officers she felt should have done more. She took her complaint to the NOPD's Public Integrity Bureau, and PIB determined alleged misconduct did occur. The report stated Officer Denzel Million was in training and under the direct supervision of Officer Ryan Morgan. The investigator recommended additional training for both officers.
For me, that wasn't enough because that additional training won't save my child. On June 2nd, that was his job to help me get my child, and I didn't get that assistance.